Father Pat is with us today on SSJ at Home. Good morning, Father. And there's a lot of flux in everything nowadays. Hurricanes, tropical systems, the pandemic. When do we start thinking another way? And when's it over? And how long does it last? And it's just everything's up in the air. With that in mind, and with the Sunday's gospel message in mind, and our come and see that we start tomorrow, it's time to start thinking about what we're going to look like after all of this calms down, right?
Well, actually, we need to start thinking about what we're going to look like while we're still in the midst of it.
Right.
Right. That's the issue. We've been for the last few months talking about what we will look like when this is all over, and the problem is, what do we look like right now? We have to start adapting, and we have to start changing right now. We were fortunate, especially like with our faith formation program, that we were already talking about making some changes with the faith formation program. We had already um, started looking at a new way of doing it that actually works out better, I think, in a virtual environment. So we've been able to adapt it to at least get it started here in this virtual environment. But that's the way we need to start looking at everything. We've been around here. We've been kind of putting off our planning, putting off our plans for the fall. Waiting to see what the fall's going to look like. Well, the fall's now upon us, and so we all have to kind of adapt. And the point from the gospel today was that Jesus has entrusted to Peter, is entrusted to the church, has entrusted to us the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And it's not like those keys are dormant right now. It's not like we can just put those keys on a back shelf and just wait until after the pandemic's over and wait till everything to go and dust those keys off and then try to get back on path to our to the kingdom of heaven. I mean, we need to be doing things right now, and so we need to recognize that how can we use the keys to the kingdom best in our environment that we have right now with the pandemic, with everything going on. And that question is a personal question, right? What do I need to do for my family? What do I need to do for my community to keep the faith alive, to keep us continuing to grow in our faith? What do I need to do in my own personal life to keep the faith alive in prayer, in joining small communities? What are the ministries out there? And that's where right now we have this come and see going. And over the next few weeks, we'll be putting out information about small communities and ministries that are available. But we have to be even asking ourselves, what do our ministries do right now? For instance, the ministry of Extraordinary Minister of Holy Communion. That ministry, as it exists to distribute Holy Communion, doesn't exist right now in the pandemic. But what does that ministry look like during the pandemic? Well, one thing we all can do is pray for communion. And that's where I've encouraged in the past, and I continue to encourage our extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion to pray individually, to come together and pray in groups. That's where we need to look at all of our ministries, is how can we adapt in this time frame, and what are those ministries that we need going forward? Like a ministry that we hadn't even thought about 6 months ago, or was on a back burner, right, was our whole video technician in the church. Now with the live stream of the Mass and with the need to use the screens to project the words to the music and all, we really have to build up that ministry. We really have to have people stepping forward to volunteer to work as video technicians. So, we have to stop and think about what are those ministries that we really need help in here in this pandemic, and look to shift and really ask people to help us to step up so that we can continue to minister in this new way as we go forward.
It's been interesting to see some things that have come as a result of alternate, plan Bs, and what we do since we can't get together. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to these virtual meetings at such a time. When will they be able to meet again in person? At what level will we continue to communicate like this?
I have just become so thrilled with this virtual meeting. We have people that wouldn't normally be able to participate. In my one small group, we have a parishioner who moved up to outside of the Washington, D.C. area, who still joins us now virtually, right, to come together. Exciting things like that. I found in our small group sharings using Zoom for whatever way that it's as strange as it is, I've been able to develop better connections than what I had sitting around a table. So there are some real advantages. I think that's the blessings that God's letting us find through this pandemic. Certainly our technician ministry, our ministry to run the live stream, that ministry is not going away. I mean, we are going to be live streaming our mass now forever. Right? It was brought up. We had been talking about it, but it was a low priority. But it became a high priority because of the pandemic. And there are some wonderful uses out of it as we go forward. Another thing that we've started because of the pandemic is we started calling and contacting parishioners. And we've started updating our contact database. We've done the census here now. That we've sent out asking people to help us update that contact database. I really see us going forward being able to really have in place a lot better systems of communication and all to contact our parishioners, to personally contact them, to make sure that we all stay in contact with each other.
Speaking of staying in contact with each other, first I'll mention that the Come and See Zoom ministry and will begin tomorrow, and we'll continue over the next several weeks. We'll be talking to Jennifer Torres, our Faith Formation Director, and moving forward, following her interview with other heads of ministries and representatives of ministries. Just like you would find out information if you had gone to the actual in-person event, we'll have that for you through these interviews like the one we're doing today with you, Father Pat. And also, just finally, the weather situation looks like maybe, well, I'm not going to say anything because this is my first one, like I said the other day. So I'm not going to say anything other than if we need to communicate anything, we will.
Right. Yeah, we still don't know. It changes hourly. Every time I look at it, it seems to be a new prediction of where those storms are going.
Right. Father Pat, thanks for your time, and we'll see you later this week.
All right. Goodbye.